Hello, everybody here. Welcome to Trading Within the Box here on February 3rd here. First of all, this is not a recommendation to buy, hold, sell any stocks, equities, futures, or commodities. This is an educational video only. If you'd like to purchase stocks, please contact a licensed professional and they can help you there. Okay, so we're on a different computer here, so if it sounds a little weird, we have a different setup here because the other computer is being worked on. I want to go over the S&P 500 with everybody, and I want to show you something here on how we came up to the resistance spot right here at the 490, 419. Now this is not a surprise. Now they took the profits right in this spot right there. You see that right there? Okay. There was a little more selling in that spot, but then they had that here too, and the run just kept going on. You see that? So then we come back with strong volume on the way up, passing this point right here. So when this bar right here a day ago on Thursday came up strong into this area, we knew we were going to blast past it at that point, okay, because we had higher volume going into the swing point area, okay? So that's not a surprise by any means, okay? Let's go over to the weekly chart we have a lot of stocks to work with, so we're gonna have to try to move fast here, okay? Now, the weekly resistance is at 509.30, so don't be surprised if we head up. We're inching up. Now, we have a lot of volume coming up into this money exchange right in this spot here, so we have to be careful. We get teed up into this area here and then take the profit. So if you're long from the support level, which was at 458.90, and then you're heading towards this, make sure when you get up into that area, you're taking your profits, okay? You know that you got a major resistance level. Now look at the banks. The banks with the increasing volume, okay? Well, look at this. See this right there, okay? The increasing volume right there, okay? You had the sideways consolidation, the sideways moving them, the pop-up. You see that right there, okay? So that has been happening too with the banks as we're heading to 40.14 there, okay? It's not a surprise. As you move the chart back, where are you? Let's move the goalpost, okay? We were in the supply range, okay? We've been in the supply area right from here to here, okay? Let's get the paint out again, okay? Right here, look where we were, right there. So that's what we were saying. As you're moving into that supply area, is right there, okay? So you got to know where you are at all times because see how you're moving into there, and you know when you get up into those stretched out levels. I'm not saying anything else other than to just be careful. Now look at the weekly chart on SMH, okay? The semiconductors, okay? On the semiconductors, you're smacked right into the 190.63. Okay, it closed at 190.122, but boom, you're far away from the moving average right there, okay? Look at the moving average where it is, okay? You're far away, you're going to move back to it or go sideways, okay? So just be careful here because you're hitting a wall a little bit here, okay, on the semiconductors. So that's something that always look at. Now, the IWM with the small caps, because they're the speculators, right? They tell you before a move is going to happen. They're weaker because look at trading within the box here. Now watch this for a second, okay? Watch this. Look where we were. Let's get a little thicker paint here, okay? Look at this spot right here, okay? And then look at this right here, okay? Look at that box, trading within the box, okay? You're in a sideways consolidation for a very long time. Each one of these candlesticks is 1 week, okay? So now you get a little bit of an M formation coming up here. So we have to be very careful in this spot. So we don't know. Anything can happen there. As we hit this, boom, we can pull back again. Look at the sellers in that spot right there, up in that weekly spot. Okay, let's go over to the old world Microsoft. Okay, now this is the weekly chart, okay? Now, remember when I was looking at the order flow on the week of July 17th, okay, when they had that massive amount of money coming in, and then we pulled back, and then you knew we were going to retest that area, okay? So now, when we had the sideways move, when we had the sideways move, we popped up. Okay, that was on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, and Tuesday. Okay, so on Tuesday, okay, we had that move. Look at the move out. Boom. Now we slammed into resistance. Then we got up and above and we held. This is on a weekly basis. Okay. That means we held and we closed higher the next week. Closed higher. Now we're closed higher again. And we have another one of these coming here. See that? Okay. We have another one of those. And now what does that mean? Now we're approaching up to that 433.78 here on Microsoft. Okay. So that's something that when we go to the smaller time frames, let's go to the small time frames. First, start with the daily chart, okay? Know where you are with the daily chart resistance, okay? Look how we slammed into it. Remember the earnings I had told you about. Be careful of the earnings. A lot of times they bring it back and then boom, they come right back with it with the earnings, okay? They usually sell into theirs. You got to know which stock and how they trade, okay? So you're coming back up into this range. Now, remember this. Let's get this going on. Now, watch this for a second here. You have this going on right here, trading within the box right here, okay? This is a sideways move a little bit, in a way, okay? So we got to get up. We're going to tag the 419.77. Then let's see if we pull back to it, to the support line, and then we start heading up again, okay? So that's something that we always have to keep our eyes on. With Microsoft, because Microsoft just following it up. That's all we're doing. And then when we go to the 2-hour chart, look at the 2-hour chart on Microsoft here. Check this out now, right? Watch this, okay? Look how you're going into, look at the sellers in this spot, and you're creeping up into that area, okay? You do have a step pattern on the way up here, okay? So that's something that you're going to have to continue to watch also, okay? Let's go over to Apple. Now, Apple had massive amount of volume. Apple had this massive amount. Let's go over to the daily chart first, okay? Now, Apple had this. Now, they had the earnings, right, on February 1st, right, okay? They sold it off. Look at this now. Look at this. They sold it. They started right down here. They gapped it down, and they brought it back up because it's a buy signal right there, okay? So look at this area. You're trading within the box right here, okay, is what you're doing right here. So look at how you're trading within the box here right there, okay? You're trading within the box, and you're pulling all the way down to the bottom, and you're holding, okay? Now, it's very possible where you can get if you go to the line chart, you can get the W formation and check it out, okay? So look at the W formation here on Apple. See that? You can get that kind of thing going on. But remember, you're still trading within the range, trading within the box, right? So continue to watch. Let's go over to the weekly chart because it's the end of the week here. We're on a Saturday morning here right now. Okay, and look at what the weekly says, okay? So we get the capitulation candlestick. We have to get the follow-through here, okay? Because what do we have here? We have another W formation here coming right here on Apple. Now, we don't know. We could break down here, too. We have a flush out of volume and exchange of money right here. Well, let's see. We need to get that follow-through so we can get that W. Once we get that strength of that W, we can be heading up to this range right here, okay? So that's something. Remember, you're in the box. You're trading within that box on Apple. As you go over to the 2-hour chart on Apple, you'll see how they brought it back. Look how they brought it back with the lower highs. See that? Right there, right there, right there. And then you had the sideways move, and you had the break step. Bam, right there, short. You had another short signal right there. You had a sideways if you could stomach it. Okay, you get stopped out right there, right, on your short. You get probably stopped out right there, okay? And then you just re-enter. Now, when you come down to that support area, you have major support. So what they got to cover, you get the bounce of the W, and then boom. Now, what we want to see here is you got the nice volume coming up. You got the aftermarket volume, which is nothing. You want to hold this and then get the engulfing right there, okay? Now, if this breaks and starts to break down, you know they're going to retest this spot again. Okay, that's possible. If you get the engulfing green candlestick with the close higher like that with the engulfing, they're most likely heading up. It's not always, but usually that's the odds are in your favor at that point. Okay, let's keep moving through. Let's go through the weeklies first here on Amazon. Okay, on Amazon, look at Amazon now. Not a surprise here, right? Okay, closing higher every single day here. Then boom, going to slam into that 177.90. Okay, right now we're at 171.81. We're going to touch it. Okay, we have an exchange of money though up in this area because we got this large candlestick here. Okay, so let's see what happens once we get up into that spot right there. Okay, let's see what happens when we get into that spot. Okay, now when you look at the daily chart on Amazon, look at the earnings now. The earnings were good, right? We had the earnings on February 1st. Bam! Earnings are good, right? One slammed right into, on the daily chart, slamming into the resistance area. Now I want to see it close higher and then continue to go up. Now if we hold here and we go sideways, we pull back and then boom, we're going to back up from that point, okay? Let's go over, let's keep moving along. Goldman Sachs. Now Goldman, okay, let's go over the weekly right now on Goldman. Now look at Goldman. Look where you are. Know where you are, right? As I always say, look at this spot right here. You're smack right into the supply line area, okay, right now on Goldman. Now, if you get up and you start closing higher, you know you're going to head up to 411.41 right there, okay? That's down the road, though, not now, okay? Now, when you go over to, so know that on Goldman Sachs, you're in this sideways consolidation too, okay? Know where you are right here. Look at this. You're in that sideways consolidation move right there. You see that? Right there, okay? Let's go over to HD, Home Depot. That's something that we've been following for a very, very long time here. And look at Home Depot now. Now, when you look at Home Depot, pull your chart back. Look where you are. You're right in the supply area again. Okay, let's go to the paint right here, and then look at this. Look where you are. Boom. Right there. So that's why you got the pressure on the way down here with that massive drop. So you got to be careful. Now, this could kind of go like this, and then we could get that and tag the 376.23 too. Okay, how you'll know, of course, and you always know, is that you will go to the small time frame. And then go over to, let's see what's happening on the daily chart. Now, on the daily chart, okay, look at the higher lows right there. Higher lows engulfing, okay? Holding the line to 365.08. Let's see. It's holding the line right now. Now, remember, you have earnings on February 20th, okay? Okay? So that's something that, make sure you write it down in your book with the earnings. 2-hour chart on Home Depot. Now, Home Depot, watch where you are right in that supply area too, going up. Now, it could tag it again, but remember, you have resistance right at that 361, 362 range. Okay, so always know where you are. Now we go over to gold market. Now, on the GDX with the gold miners, look what's going on here. Now, this is something that takes time, okay? Now, let's look at the line chart on. Now we're holding the line, and hopefully we're holding right here with the higher lows. Look at that right there. So we want to see this. This is on a weekly basis, so it could take a little time for that. Okay. When you go over to the daily chart on GDX, okay, I'm working with some new ink here, so it's taking a little time for me to go back and forth with it. Look at the daily chart and look at the sideways consolidation here. See that? Look at this. Boom, right there. So, and look how it's drifting up a little bit. So let's see if we're going to get this kind of thing. And then boom, we get right now the sellers are in charge, right? Okay. The sellers were in charge from this point down. Okay. So that's something that start following it on the small time frames if you want to try to catch it. Okay. You'll also know about right now, you pulled all the way to the bottom here. So that's your safest zone when we start moving up with the higher lows, okay? Let's go for the 45-minute chart on GDX. And we don't have the buyers there yet, right, at this moment. But, that could always change, and that does change, okay? Let's go over to the dollar. Now, the dollar is something that we've been watching, right? Because the dollar was, they were strengthening the dollar a little bit, and they had this teething up to this area here on, now we're at the resistance area on a weekly chart. Right now we're at a resistance area on a weekly chart on the U.S. dollar. Okay, and that's the game they always play with this thing moving up, okay? So we got a little pop-up here, right here, over the weekend, buying into this 2805. So let's see if gold is still going to suppress the gold here at this point, okay? On Tesla, on the gold miners, okay? Tesla, now if you look at Tesla, don't be surprised here, because remember how they killed this. Look at the W formation now forming here on Tesla, okay? Look how we came down, came up to this area. Now we stop right in this spot. Let's see if we get the engulfing. We get the engulfing, and then boom, we can head up. Now you got downward pressure here with the 20-day moving average, okay? So you could hit up to that area, and then you want to see a retest and then start to change the trend. That's something that we're going to be looking for over time, okay? Not right this second. Let's look at, now watch the weekly chart. When you get these kind of things on a weekly chart, you could have a little bit of a reversal here, okay? Look how you came down, and you had a monster selling. So when you get those velocity candlesticks on a weekly chart, what happens? See the change afterwards? Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, this happens weeks later. But you could start getting this kind of thing, okay? And then the 20-day moving average on a weekly chart is moving down, and then boom. Now you're on the bottom of the weekly chart, so you could get a little bit of reversal there, okay? That's something that obviously you're going to wait and see on the small time frames. Now, when you go to the 2-hour chart on Tesla, you're basing, okay? Look how you're basing here, okay? Now you're basing the area. See how it's basing right here? That means it's holding right now, okay? You want to see you have a little bit of accumulation here coming. You might get a pop, okay? I'm not saying exactly definitely, but you could get a pop, okay, on Tesla. Now, on Caterpillar. Let's go over to Caterpillar. Caterpillar, the super, super strong Caterpillar, as always. Not a surprise, right? Let's go over the weekly chart. You have a velocity candlestick again on, so you could get a week or two teething up to this 325, 328 area. It's very possible, okay? Very, very possible that could happen too. Okay, so when you continuously watch Caterpillar, look at the W formation on Caterpillar. The monster W formation on the weekly chart. Look at this. Boom. Engulfing, and then you're off to the races with increasing volume, okay? Now, that's something that wasn't a surprise to us because we saw it coming, right? Okay. Now, on daily chart, you close over the resistance area. You got an increase of volume. You could get a little bit of a pullback, or you just keep running. How you'll know is you just keep following that 2-hour chart, too. Okay? And look at the volume now. Look at the volume here on the 2-hour chart. Look at that. Higher lows, right? Closing higher every 2 hours. You're after market. Let's see what happens. Boom. We start getting this up to 323.67. Okay? That could very well happen, too. Let's go over to Costco. Costco's a monster retailer, okay? And what do you have going on with Costco? Now, on Costco, you come up and you break above the resistance level on the weekly chart and you close higher, okay? You close higher. Then you say, all right, so how do I manage it on the daily chart? Very simple, okay? Now, you got to know where your resistance lines are. Know where your boundaries are. 7, 20, 10. Look at that. This is your box of cheese right now, okay? Forget about this stuff. Forget about all of that. That doesn't mean anything. That's over. That's ancient history, okay? Right there, you want to know if you're going to keep going up with the higher lows, and that's how you continuously, let's watch on a 45-minute chart. Now look at the buyers in there, okay, on a 45-minute chart. Very solid. Hold the line, pull the stochastic all the way to the bottom, hold the line up. Boom, we got the engulfing right there, and then we got the buy signal, okay? So that's something that keep watching. Now, NVIDIA. Let's go over to NVIDIA. Okay, we have about 7 minutes left here. Let's go make a good time here. And on NVIDIA with the weekly chart. Now look at NVIDIA, the locomotive, okay? Look at this. Now watch this for a second, okay? You had the sideways move, okay, right there, okay? You also had a sideways move here, okay? You had a sideways move here. That's accumulation, massive accumulation weekly, okay? How you came down to support, they sold at resistance. Then you step up higher. That's why you have the explosion. Look at the high volume, week after week after week, 4 weeks in a row. Beautiful volume. Get up and above the resistance line, the major resistance line at 620.35 now becomes your new support. You have nice volume. You close with a beautiful candlestick on NVIDIA, the powerhouse, okay? Now watch the powerhouse, okay? Watch the powerhouse. At 675.73 on the daily chart, there's going to be some profit taking a little bit, okay? Pull back. You have support at 637-ish, whatever that is, and then you come back up, and then you retest. Now, if you break through, boom, you're going to be off to the races to 710, 713 in that range, okay, on NVIDIA. So don't be surprised on NVIDIA, okay? Let's go over to Duke Energy. Now, Duke Energy had, look at this candlestick on Duke Energy now. Now, you had earnings here you're going to have earnings on February 8th, okay? So be very careful. Let's look at the line chart, okay? Now, if you get this kind of thing going on, now, watch this. If you get this kind of thing, you got this, you hold, and you get engulfing right here with good volume, you can be getting a cushion to 99.11, okay? Right there. Then you have that's a sell point in that spot or a profit-taking point. Okay, so that's something that on Duke Energy. Let's go to the weekly chart. Okay, it's at the end of the week here. Now we have a spindle. With good buying volume here. Let's see what they do here. You have a little indecision here on a weekly chart. You have two spindles. Now look at this for a second here, and then I always taught you this one too. Look at this capitulation candlestick here. Look at this one. Okay, so. Now, this could be a buy signal here, okay, with the two in a row, okay? You have the two in a row, boom, two in a row, and then bam, okay? You have a little capitulation here, capitulation, and boom. Remember what I said, okay? You even have it on the sell points, capitulation and capitulation, boom. You have another one there, and then boom, okay? And now you get another one here, and then boom, okay? So those are big signals, either buying or selling, when you have especially two in a row right there, okay? The two in a row is a big one, okay? Dominion Energy Incorporated here. So now stochastic pulling all the way to the bottom and holding on the weekly chart. You have a spindle, so you have a decision right here on a weekly chart here, okay? Now watch Dominion, okay, has a very similar formation to Duke Energy because it's in the same sector, okay? So they don't have their earnings till February 22nd, so you got a little time for that. So that's something that you have to continue to watch the higher lows on the smaller time frames. Okay, well, what's going to happen if you're in this? What's going to happen here? Okay, so you could slam at this and then pull back. Okay, that's what looks like could be happening here. Okay, and I'm not saying pull back all the way to the bottom here, but you could be pulling back here a little bit. Okay, on Dominion TLT, the 20-year bond. Okay, Treasury bond. And that's something we always watch, right? Okay, it's something we're always watching. And look at the TLT and look at that volume stick, that monster volume stick. Now, watch TLT here, okay? What are they going to do here? Is this going to be a sell or a buy? So that's what we're going to have to wait to see here, okay? We have a massive exchange of money here, okay? So you come off support, you come up, now you want to see if you're going to hold. Now, this is a very tricky stock because it's all over the place a lot. You have 20-day moving average right in this spot. You want to see this come back. This bounces up and down all over the place. It gaps up and gaps down with a lot of dojis all the time. But you want to see if you're going to start heading up here, and you'll see that on the small time frames. Okay. Let's go over to Procter & Gamble. Only have a few more minutes here left. Now in Procter & Gamble, look at a weekly chart, slamming right into a major resistance area at 158, okay? It's a major sell point resistance area. So you had the velocity candlestick, boom. Now, you don't know. This thing could keep going, okay? The next area is going to be at the 161.24, okay? So you're trading within the box here for a long period of time on Procter & Gamble, and then you get up and above a little bit here now for the first time. Look at trading within the box right here. Okay, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. And then the sell points, right, you're right in it right now. So let's see if they pull this back, hold, and then we make another run at it, okay? Let's see. Remember, we're on a weekly chart here, so that could take a little time to actually do that, okay? Right now, we're in a resistance level also in the daily chart, okay, on Procter & Gamble. So you have to be careful. Let's go over 2-hour chart so we can see actually what they're doing, pulling it back and holding right now, okay? Let's continue to keep going here. We have 2 more McDonald's. Let's go to McDonald's and look at McDonald's. Now, let's go over the line chart on the weekly chart here. Look at the W formation, okay? Let's see, though, because we don't know if this is definitely going to follow through. Look at the volume, though, okay? And let's see if we're going to get this kind of thing. And we start heading up to 315.33, okay? Here is the candlesticks on daily chart, okay? Now, the earnings are February 5th, okay? So be careful here, okay? So if you've made your money, you want to wait on the earnings, okay? You have increasing volume. You have a nice follow through here. So you could retest the 301 area again, okay? You could retest that 301 area. Now, Coca-Cola, you have on... Now, Coca-Cola, you see how it's holding the line on the weekly chart? Look at this. It's holding the line on the weekly chart, okay? You're going into this resistance area right here, okay? Right there in that spot. So you're not there yet, okay? Look at the volume. Look at the exchange of money. You had an exchange of money right here, right? What were they doing? Pulling it back and they were buying, right? So let's see what they're going to do with this monster volume stick right in that spot. Let's see what they're going to do. And always go to the lower time frames, because that's how you could really get your entry level. That's how you're going to get entry levels in those ranges. Now, you get the velocity candlestick, you get the pullback. Now, you want to see it hold here and then continue to go up, okay, on a daily. Okay, you want to see on the 2-hour chart, stretch her out, okay? What's happening on the 2-hour chart? On the 2-hour chart, you got the 200-day moving average. You got this going on. Let's see if it holds here and then busts out to test this area again, okay? That's what we have to see on Coca-Cola. With that said, I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank everybody for watching. If you'd like to contact, the content here, please like and share and subscribe my channel. Thank you for coming to Trading Within the Box, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.